Hello there. We are live. You have stepped across PTZOptics and HuddleCam HD Live. My name's Tess Protesto. We go live every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. Got an exciting topic for you today, as always. But one of my favorite partnering organizations that we work with is joining us today, LiveU. They deal with cellular bonding, cloud services, and more. We're going to be discussing the LiveU IP pipe, future plans, and also NAB show. Before we dive into that and say hello to our guest, we are going to start off with some squares. Just a little bit of housekeeping. Like I just mentioned, today we're talking all about LiveU. We are talking about remote control protocols and controlling your system remotely, of course, and cellular bonding. All right, next up, let's talk about some of our other live shows. We do have a few programs now from the PTZOptics and HuddleCam HD family. The third Friday of the month is Tech Town Hall, our tech roundtable with our technology experts. And how many times can I say tech? Willing to bet there's a few more. There could even be a drinking game out of that potentially. That's the third Friday of the month at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. For our House of Worship audience, we have Salt Talk, our sound and lighting tech show. That is the last Tuesday of the month at 11 Eastern Standard Time by our very own Mr. Stephen Haywood and our new host, Greg Terry. We are going back to NAB this year. We're so excited to be back in the game, the trade show game, and meet a lot of you in person. If you're going to be there, will it be in the North Hall at N738? And I do believe our friends at LiveU are going to be in the North Hall as well, if you want to see them there. If you're not going to be there in person, don't worry about it. We're going to be live streaming from the show floor daily and even doing some giveaways for our remote participants as well. So if you want to sign up for content during the NAB showtime, go to ptzoptics.com/NAB. My friend Lindsay over here will put that in the chat for you guys. Please don't forget to like, follow us, and subscribe on our social media channels. In particular, if you're watching on YouTube today, we're about 20 subscribers away from hitting 31,000. So if you haven't subscribed yet, it would mean the world to me and our team if you would give us that subscribe and help us get to that next, goal number. So pretty excited about that potential there. And if you're looking to get involved with like individuals in the streaming and technology community, you're going to want to join our Facebook user groups. We have our PTZOptics support group, our Churches That Live Stream group, and an OBS learning group as well. Next on the docket today, and before I move on to my co-host Lindsay, I just wanted to check on our guest. Michael, is there a vmix call coming in? We had some technical difficulties with our call-in system again. So we had to take our guest off of the system we were using and bring him in a different way. So just wanted to check on that before we move on. It looks like George is in, so hang tight, George. I appreciate your patience as we settled up that little snag there. And next, we're going to see what's going on in the social media world with my co-host, Miss Lindsay Pope.
Hello, and welcome back to another segment of Share Your Vision. I'm Lindsay, and I'm the social media producer here. So this week, a big shout out goes to Chris Hedgewood. This is actually from our Facebook user group. Chris shared an idea he came up with to mount his PTZOptics cameras to a speaker stand. He used an on-stage stand to mount a bracket to attach the camera to the stand. You can see the full details on how he achieved this on our Instagram, where I will be sharing it after the show. Thank you again, Chris, for sharing your vision. Also, we will be finishing up the March Madness bracket today. So make sure you're paying attention to the YouTube chat, where I will be putting in the polls for a minute each. And yeah, we're going to see who wins our March Madness.
Who's up next today?
We have PTZ30X NDI versus the Superjoy, and we have the PTZ30X SDI versus the PTZ20X NDI. And then whoever wins those brackets will fight for the finish.
Who is going to be the winner?
Who's it gonna be?
Favorite product, PTZOptics March Madness. Let's have a little bit of fun before we dive into today's content. I like to start things off with a would you rather question. This one today is for our communication buffs. Would you rather not have access to email for a week or not have access to text messaging for a week? I think that's a good question to start off with our guests. Let's bring on our esteemed guest today, the Director of Channel Sales, Mr. George Klippel of LiveU.
Hey Tess, how are you?
Hey, George. I'm doing well. How are you?
I am great, and I'm going with emails. No
You're going with
emails.
emails. No emails for the
That's
week.
right. Yes, absolutely.
I was kind of thinking the same too, because you want to make sure that you have, first and foremost, communication with family and friends, and then work is supposed to come secondary. So I think that makes a lot of sense.
Absolutely.
Let us know in the chat. No emails or no text messages for a week. All right, George, I want to say first, I'm sorry about that little snafu in the beginning. I'm glad that you're tech savvy and we're able to jump right on with us in a different manner.
Yeah, no problem, and I'm really happy to be here today.
Can you start off by giving anybody who's new to LiveU a little bit of background on LiveU's products and services?
Sure. LiveU has been around since 2006. We are the leader in IP transmission. A lot of people call it cellular bonding, and we have products that start for under $1,000 and go up to $25,000 and serve every vertical, whether it's from house of worship to the broadcast industry and everything in between. So, and we'll be talking about a few of those today. But yeah, that's a little bit about what we are and what we do. But really, we're all about getting video from point A to point B in the most effective way, reliably, with all the packets in order and in sync. So that's what we're all about.
Yeah, if you've been around here a while, anybody in the audience, we've gotten tons of questions over time for our IRL or in real life streams, our mobile streams, and even streams where we've been switching from a studio to in the field. And people are always amazed how we're able to do that. And every single one of those streams has been supported by one of the LiveU products. And we started off with the LiveU Solo, and we've built our way up from there, George. So you've been you've opened up a lot of doors for us, should I say, in our streams.
Yeah, you guys have been a great customer and great user of the technology for a long time, and we really do appreciate it. That's for sure.
Yeah. And who are the key markets that you serve besides, folks like us?
Yeah, really, for us, we got our start in broadcast. I mean, we have about 65% of the market globally, and broadcast is probably our biggest market, followed by sports. Those are really our two biggest markets. And then I would say you'd look after that into the post-production sector and corporate and enterprise. And then from there, we're in every market you think of. I mean, as I mentioned, house of worship, but we're in I mean, you can name a market and we'll be in that market. But we work with the federal government, federal, state, and local government, first responders, use our technology. But anyone out there that has a need for portable video, getting video from remote locations back to a control room or out to a CDN. You mentioned IRLers early on, big market for us. But again, anybody who has that need to get video from point A to point B reliably and getting it there with redundancy and a bonded connection, and that's most important, and that's what we're all about, is going to use our technology. But I would say, honestly, the top industries that use our technology are going to be broadcast, sports, post-production, and corporate and enterprise. Oh, and education too. I can't forget education. That's one of my favorite verticals, and they're a huge one for us as well.
Yeah, and I've seen in the wild just such a wide array of products from you guys, from our very own tiny little solos to giant trucks with a big satellite on top labeled LiveU. I remember our local town Christmas parade, the QVC Christmas parade that we host, or our town host had a truck, and I was like, "That's LiveU. That's my friends at LiveU."
Yeah, it's really phenomenal. I started here 6 years ago, and we had a fairly small product catalog, and it just keeps growing and growing. And we add production elements to the product portfolio, like Tally Light and other things that we're going to talk about, like the IP
Oh,
pipe
great.
today. But we just have really grown as a company, and it's amazing to watch this growth over these few years that I've been here. But it's just a wonderful company to work for, and the technology just keeps getting better and better. And we keep offering newer and newer services that our customers are asking for. And, it just falls right in line with what this industry needs and what they've asked for and what they want.
You are already getting quite a few questions, and we are live, so I do want to give George a chance to answer questions as they go along. And I could throw you sort of a softball just to get the ball rolling today before we dive into what we're going to be discussing with the pipe and some new technologies. George, Jace wants to know, can LiveU use any service provider, including Verizon or AT&T, or all of them for bonding?
Yeah, we actually can. So one of the nice things about LiveU products is they have a bunch of things that are common, right? We can use Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile. All of our units have built-in Wi-Fi and built-in Ethernet as well. And our secret sauce is something called LRT, LiveU Reliable Transport, and that does that bonding, if you will, of all of those connections together for one big fat pipe out to the internet. And that's what makes it really special. And especially if you're traveling or doing shots in areas where some connections might drop or go in and out of service, our bonding technology will automatically pick it up when it comes back into service. And if something drops out, you never even will notice. There's no glitches or audio or video sync dropping out at any time. But yes, we can use any of those connections with our units, any of the units that we have.
Speaking of piping, there is a newer technology coming out of LiveU that's particularly interesting for us and our customers with the IP pipe and remote production capabilities. I snuck a video off of your YouTube channel on that topic. George, do you mind if I cue that as an introduction to talking about the pipe?
No, please do. Yeah.
Okay, great. Let's take a look.
LiveU's new IP pipe feature gives you remote control over a wide variety of network-based equipment directly through your LiveU unit. This includes robotic and PTZ camera control units, IP-based intercom, and more. This solution will take your remote productions to a whole new level by increasing operational efficiency, dramatically reducing on-site crew and expenses, as well as enhancing field-to-studio communication. IP pipe is available for our HEVC-based LiveU products, and with the new LU800, you can have a full remote multi-camera production all through one single unit. Here's how it works. In the field, you connect your IP devices to your LiveU unit via Ethernet. We also have our PTZ cameras plugged into the unit via SDI. Back at your production facility, just connect your PTZ controller or other remote control device to the back of your LiveU server or into your local LAN network. And in LiveU Central, once you enable IP pipe functionality, you'll have complete control over your IP-based gear. You'll also be able to control your equipment over IP pipe, whether your LiveU unit is transmitting live or not. Enrich your remote production setup with LiveU IP pipe.
All right. I couldn't happen to miss noticing some fun cameras and joysticks in that video. I appreciate that, guys.
Yeah. That was done by James, one of our internal marketing folks. He does a great job of our videos. So kudos
Yes,
to
I
him.
know James. He's great. So if we're taking a look at the IP pipe, I do have part of the solution right here, which is the LU800, which would be nice to have in hand as we describe some of the features here. Can you give us, I know we just watched a video, but another brief overview of the purpose of this unit and the server together?
Yeah, so you've got the LU800 there, and some of the key applications for the technology. It's really all about remote productions, live multicam transmissions, remote IP gear control, right? And what you want to do with this unit and how it works is you need a field unit like the LU800 that you have there. I've got my LU300 here in my office, and you can use any of the encoders that are HEVC. So it could be the 600 or 610. And then it connects up to, and we'll work with any of our servers, the LU2000 or our LU4000, the physical servers. And really, it's a point-to-point solution, and it works with any IP-based camera and gives you remote control over that, robotic control, PTZ camera control, CCUs, camera control units, and even IP-based intercom. And what you're going to do is you connect the unit like the 800 that you have on stage there. You'll connect it via Ethernet to the camera. So that's one of the connections that you'll do. You simply take an Ethernet cable, connect it to your PTZ camera, connect it to the Ethernet port on the LU800, and then you'll take the SDI output of the camera and connect that to one of the SDI spigots on your LU800. And what's nice about the LU800, it's our only unit that does multi-camera input, has multi-camera input. So you can actually have 4 cameras connected to that one device. So you've got 4 SDI ins there. So you could actually take 4 cameras, connect them right into it. Yeah, there you go. And actually have 4 PTZ cameras connected to that device. And essentially what will happen is you're really connecting those cameras, and we're transmitting back over a bridge. It's essentially we're connecting via Ethernet. That's a great shot of the
here's
SDI
the 4
inputs
SDI inputs that we have here.
Yep.
And then
and then on the other side is the Ethernet connection. Yep. And you'd connect the Ethernet cable there, and then you're making essentially a network bridge to the LU2000 or 4000. And that's going to connect back in your control room.
Where's the camera?
And it's going to connect to our server.
Okay.
And the server, the LU2000 or 4000 is on your local network back in your control room. And essentially, we're making this bridge, and we'll connect your controller, right, the PTZ controller, on the same network, the local network that you have that the server's on. And that's how you can control the camera remotely via the controller interface. And it's really a nice way of working remotely. So essentially, you can set up these cameras, let's say 2 or 4 or whatever, in the field, connect them to a LiveU device or multiple LiveU devices. And you could be 300 miles away, 500 miles away, anywhere in the world, actually, and control these cameras remotely using IP pipe, this connection that we've made, this network bridge, and control those without having to have a crew there on site,
right,
without having to have multiple camera people on site. And one of the nice things too is that if you only have one LiveU unit, you can use an unmanaged network switch and connect multiple cameras to one LiveU device if you wanted to. So there's a lot of ways you can make this connection and make it work. And aside, like I said, even if you're connecting the cameras, you can do a CCU and do camera shading and do control over all the different color type setups and balance and things of that nature as well.
Okay. And what are the key applications for this? I mean, sports comes to mind initially, but I'm sure there's a vast majority there.
Yeah, no, I mean, sports is absolutely one of the biggest applications for sure, right? But anyone who's doing any remote productions, right? If you're going out with a fly pack today and you're bringing crews on site and you're setting up multiple cameras, this is where you can reduce that cost. It's all about reduction of cost, right?
Mm-hmm.
Go out into the field and take a couple of IP-based cameras, set them up with, one person can set them up, put your LiveU pack on it, connect the Ethernet cable and the SDI port, and then you don't have to send 5 camera people or 4 camera people, right? But sports is huge, right? Any type of multi-camera transmission that you're doing, whether it's sports or even something at home type of production, where even in a home studio where you're just a single type of person running a show, where you want to set up an in-home studio, but you don't have the staff or the money to afford a bunch of people to come in and do camera work or freelancers, you can do the control and switching and editing right there from your switcher. That's another nice key application.
Right.
But it's really designed for a REMI type of workflow where your remote, whether it's sports or whether it's a corporate entity doing a multicam shoot for the CEO in a hotel ballroom or what have you, this is the perfect application for IP pipe.
And for our cameras, or IP cameras in particular, rather, how exactly are they tying into the pipe? Is it via the SDI or via IP, I would assume?
Yeah, it's over Ethernet, right? So we're connecting Ethernet. The Ethernet cable goes from your camera to the LiveU pack, and then the SDI connection goes straight into the pack as well. So those are the two connections that are happening on site, right? And then we're making a network bridge back to our LU2000 or LU4000 in the control room. That's how we're doing the transmission back to the server, to the physical server over the network bridge. And then you're controlling the camera via that bridge that we're creating. So we're sending the signal back via, our network bridge, doing the bonding, and it's essentially a 1 megabit connection. Data transfer. It's limited to 1 megabit of data transfer, if you will. And that's how we're doing the control, is using that network connection between the LU2000 or 4000 to our backpack, which is then connected to your actual camera or any IP-based camera, right? So that's how we're doing the connection.
So you would have a switch and then the switch into the LiveU. So
well, it doesn't have to use the switch. You're just using the actual backpack itself. So in your case, where you're sitting there right now, you could just have one of those PTZ cameras connected with the Ethernet cable directly into the LiveU and the SDI directly, and it's going to transmit back to the LU2000 in your control room there. And then right in the control room, you're going to be plugging in your controller on the same local network that the LU2000 is installed on. And as long as you're on that same network, we're creating that network bridge where you're able to talk to over that same network that the LU2000's on and the IP pipe is on. You're going to be able to talk to both the PTZ camera through the controller because of this bridge that we've created between the two devices.
Ah, very cool.
So you don't have to have a switch.
Here's a question. We got quite a few questions coming in for you, but how does audio play into this? James wants to know, can you have an announcer remote too for the audio?
You can actually use IP pipe for this with our Audio Connect, and the same thing applies as well. So you can use our Audio Connect option, which is two-way comms, and you can use that same feature to have that audio control and communicate back and forth between the LiveU backpack and your control room, and have two-way comms to your control room.
Okay, you're getting a comment here. Sounds like
another good question.
And then Steve's asking, can we link through vmix? How does your streaming software encoder or switcher loop in there?
So you can send a stream to vmix, but that's a great question that I don't know. I don't think IP pipe can connect into vmix, but I will have to get back to you on that one. That's a good one, Steve. So let's get Steve's information so I can connect back to him on that one. I know we can send the signal back to vmix, but I'm not sure if IP pipe can connect into vmix or not. So that's a great question. I will have to come back to Steve on an answer on that. So let's make sure to capture Steve's info.
Yes, please feel free. I know Joyce is in the chat. So hi, Joyce. Thank you for joining. And she's actually covering a lot of the questions for you, George. So she has your back over here in the chat.
All right. Go, Joyce. Thank you.
I have a feeling, since there's quite a bit of interest, which I'm really excited to see from the audience, that a lot of our conversation, George, will be led by them, if that's okay with you.
Oh, yeah.
Make sure that we get their questions answered. Chad is saying that everything LiveU has been pretty amazing. Lots of power in a small package. Thanks for having them on. So that's good to hear too.
That is always good.
And we will link to the video that we showed earlier, because we got a request for that, in the description later today. Oh, there was a good question I wanted. It was about conferencing. Oh boy, I lost it because there's so many coming through. Okay, MGL says, will there be a device for conference call bonding?
That's a great question, and we get that asked that all the time. Now, there's nothing that is in the works for conference call bonding per se, but we do have a new product that's been announced about 2 months ago now called Air Control. I think you should check that out. Look on our webpage and go under the product link, and you'll see the product name is Air Control. And this does a really cool job of allowing you to get rid of all of these different, different types of Zooms and Teams and all these different meeting type of technologies, and use this cool technology we invented called Air Control that brings you into a LiveU environment at a very high quality, very low delay rate. And that's something that I think will be very satisfying to you to maybe address the question that you're getting at with conference call bonding. Yeah, it's called Air Control. Yep.
And that's one of your new, initiatives as well, isn't it? That I've
It's
read
a new
about?
product. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And there's a really wonderful demo that's on that page too, that's about 8 minutes long, that talks about how this product works and integrates into the LiveU ecosystem. And I think you're going to love that. And it's a huge thing that we'll be talking about at NAB as well. And, one of the other things about IP pipe, before I forget this, and I didn't mention it earlier, we talked about it, integrates with, CCU control. And we talked about, it's a REMI workflow solution, big for sure in sports. And, it allows you great control over any IP-based type of camera. But one of the more important things too is it does tie directly into LiveU Central, right? And that's our command and control environment, the web-based interface that lets you set the delay and it tells you where you're sending these signals to. And that's huge. I think having it fully integrated into LiveU Central is a really big thing. And I forgot to mention that earlier, and I don't want to, I'd be remiss if I didn't bring that up. It might be obvious to some, but I wanted to make sure everybody's aware that it's fully tied into LiveU Central.
I spent some time this morning myself in the LiveU Central. We're using the LU600 for our NAB live streams. So I'm configuring and testing for that. So this is all very relevant to me today. Perfect timing. I've got quite a few questions coming in regarding NDI and the LiveU products. Is there a possible integration there? Do we need an integration given that this is a IP bridge solution here? What do you think?
Yeah, so all of the LiveU stuff does NDI. We were actually the first partner with NewTek on the NDI platform when it first came out years ago.
That.
Yeah, so NDI is near and dear to our hearts, and we love NewTek, and it is next to cameras, it's probably one of our most popular add-on selling things from our partners. I guess when somebody buys a NewTek, they're buying LiveU right along with it in a lot of cases. So we do native NDI out of our servers, the LU2000, the LU4000. In addition to SRT now and MPEG-TS and SDI and everything else. But NDI is something we support natively in both of our servers, the 4000 and the 2000. So yes, it's there.
And I think that this is in reference to the IP pipe and the IP connection there. Does that replace the SDI connections, or do we need both?
No, it doesn't replace it. It's one or the other. You can use the SDI connection, or you can use the NDI connection. You don't need both. But just to be clear, that's the server side. It's not the encoder side. So on the encoder side, we have HDMI out and SDI out.
Okay.
On the server side is where we have the NDI out or SDI out. So
I see. That makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. And purchasing in Europe is another one. No, we can cover how to access not only the IP pipe, how to purchase it, but any services from LiveU while we're on that. And do you distribute internationally?
Yes, yeah, we're a global company. We have our products are sold in 186 different countries around the globe, and yes, in the UK for sure. So if you go to our website and look up resellers, you'll see a page, and you can put in your country, and you'll see where to purchase the products. So, and you can just go to LiveU, www.liveu.tv, and you'll find that page that's says reseller right at the top. And that's where you can find all the information on where to buy your products.
Linz, if you wouldn't mind linking to their website in the chat, that would be awesome. On it. Yeah, I've seen some comments in here about all of the current events happening overseas. And are you seeing a lot of involvement from LiveU products in broadcasting those world events?
Yeah, I mean, we are typically involved with the biggest events around the globe, whether it's soccer or football, for those of you in the UK, or the Super Bowl here in the US, or you name it. We are typically involved with every single one of those. And you'll also see on our website when you're there, there's an events page where you'll see an entire section where we do rentals for those major events, and a lot of our freelancers and our news folks and other organizations will want to do rentals to supplement and augment those events that they're covering. So yeah, we're all over the place covering major events, not only sporting events, but also here in the U.S. Very popular are all these huge trials that come up, and we'll be covering those using our Matrix software and our dynamic stream solution, dynamic share. It's called Matrix dynamic sharing for a lot of our big trials that happen here in the U.S. and also abroad. But yes, for sure on the sports side, for sure on any major events, you'll see LiveU having coverage and rentals available, and that's on our events page on the LiveU website.
I remember when Meghan Markle and Prince Harry were getting married, and LiveU had like pretty much a big campaign of sharing all of their LiveUs in the wild that they found there, and that was so fun to see.
Yeah, it's amazing how many events that we do.
Yep.
Yeah. When we do the inaugurations and all sorts of different videos, there's some amazing shots that our marketing teams have put together before, where you'll see a shot of world leaders coming together, shaking hands, and there'll be a behind shot of that, and there'll be 20 or 30 little blue backpacks with the LiveU logo on them, just covering that in the background. It's always amazing to just see how many people are out there using the technology. It's great.
Yep. And I'm so excited that we'll get to hang out in just a few weeks at the NAB show. How are you? Are you guys ready for that?
Oh my God, are we ready for that? Well, we're still getting ready for that.
Well,
it's going to be crazy. It's going to be amazing. So many people are slated to be there. It's it's been a few years since we've had a chance to get there. We're really excited. This is going to be a big show for us. I know we're going to see you there. We'll be doing some stuff with you guys. Very exciting to see you there, and I think you'll be in our fireside chat. We'll be doing some stuff there with you. From us, I think you're going to hear a couple of really key things. It's going to be all about the cloud, a lot of movement around cloud solutions, collaboration. I think you're going to see that as a big game changer for us and our customers. Another big hot topic for us is 5G. We're going to be talking a lot about that. Our 800 now, our LU 800, the unit that you've been showing off there today, we've talked a little bit around on that. And some of our other products now come with 5G built into them right out of the box. And we're seeing huge results, amazing results with bonded 5G and how it's impacting LiveU workflows and capabilities. We're going to be demonstrating a lot on some cost-effective remote productions, so REMI stuff on the production workflow side, sports workflow side. The last 3 years have been amazing on this growth, and IP Pipe's part of that growth, right? When we talk about REMI productions, this remote workflow, so we'll be talking about that. We've got a nice center stage pavilion built out where we'll be doing daily product. daily product and customer workflow demos. The marketing team has been putting a lot of effort into that. We'll be doing interviews with different customers like Syracuse University and Take One Productions, and different folks will be there, plus guests from different companies like Verizon and Avid and Blackbird, and sports companies, as well as cloud production companies and more. So we'll have a nice rotation of companies and production guests and customers all throughout the day, each day. And I think the last piece I'd point out there is we'll have all of our products on display all throughout the floor. So you'll be able to get hands-on with air control and dynamic share, and all of our products will be, all over that floor. So, it's going to be packed. I think it's going to be a fun time for us, and really looking forward to it. So I'm sure you are as well.
It sounds like you guys have a lot going on. And your booth is
Oh,
always
yeah.
really cool, really sharp looking. And I love how you guys do like live interviews. We scaled it down a little bit as we weren't exactly sure how the turnout was going to be. But I'm definitely excited to see what you guys have going on.
Yeah, we're in the North Hall this year, which is new for us. So we're in booth
same.
N1019. So if you come by, say hi.
Get that
for
in the chat
sure.
for me,
Yep.
Lynn. I know you already
And
are.
I think marketing has done an amazing job. They've put together, I think, one of the coolest looking booths I've seen. They do a great job every year. All the booths, I've been here 6 years. All the booths are always exciting and new. We had a race car in one of our booths one year. It was amazing to see that when we showcased our LiveU unit that was in the Indy style race cars going around, and that was amazing. But this booth is really, really neat and exciting this year, and the pods are really set up really nice, and we've got meeting rooms so our customers can come in and schedule meetings with us. So it's very, very nice.
And are you going to have a producer on site, or are you going to be using the IP pipe and having a remote producer in Jersey?
Yeah, what's funny is we're going to have a producer on site.
Okay.
It's going to be James, the world famous James, as everybody seems to get to know James. So,
yes.
And we'll also have, we are going to have some interviews, like we'll be doing a session with New Tech, and one of the sessions there will be featuring somebody remote, and we'll be doing some remote production and showing that REMI workflow. So we got some really cool things in store for you. Some stuff I'm not allowed to say, Joyce said. So I will follow Joyce's rules because she's in charge with this stuff. So I've got to keep my mouth shut on a few things that we can't talk about right now. But we have a lot of exciting things to talk about and show at the NAB show. And come by, and you'll also, I'm sure you'll hear about them too in the news, and how marketing, they love to unveil those things. So you'll see it if you're not there at the show, but if you're at the show, come on by.
Yeah, and we are going to be at your booth streaming. So if you want to check out LiveU's booth, you can sign up for our stream as well at PTZOptics.com/NAB. And you can check out their booth virtually if you're not going to be there in person. What was that comment, Lindsay, that you had up there? I know it was about if you're driving and doing an IRL stream in a moving vehicle, does the speed in which you travel affect your connection? It's a good question.
No, yeah, it's a great question, and the speed doesn't really affect the connection. It's the speed is going to affect how fast you go in and out of range of the cellular towers. So as long as you're in range of a tower, you'll be fine. You'll have a connection, because again, like on this LU300 that I have here, it has 4 modems, right? 2 internal, 2 external, and you have multiple connections. And again, they're all bonded together. So as you're traveling 65 miles an hour, you may go out of the Verizon tower zone for a minute, but you're still in the T-Mobile, and you're still in the AT&T tower range. But then you come back into Verizon, the other ones drop out. So as long as you're in a tower zone, your signal is going to be streaming out. But if you all of a sudden drive into an area where there's no towers, then your signal is going to go out for sure. But so speed doesn't really affect it in that sense. But obey the speed limit, or you'll get a ticket. Yes,
that is
area.
a good. That is a good point. TC says,
Yeah.
is there any lag when using LiveU, or is it real time? Good one too.
Yeah, no, it's real time. Yeah, there's, you can set the delay. So there is delay that you can set and adjust automatically up to 20 seconds. And we are sub-second delay, so you can go all the way down to 0.6 now with our ultra low latency. So there is a delay that you're able to set on it. So we don't call it lag; it's delay. There's a delay setting. Most of the broadcasters set it for about 1.4, 1.2 second delay. So that's when we're doing interviews, right, Tess, where, if I toss it to you in the field, you're not sitting there for 5 seconds. And I say, Tess, what's the weather like? And you're just sitting there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you answer, right? So you want that delay to be as low as possible. But, the video is being shot in real time and the stream is being sent in real time. But we do have a delay setting that you can adjust.
That makes sense to why when you're watching the news sometimes when they go to the field reporter, you see them like, yes, thank you, John, you notice
Yeah,
that.
exactly. And it's funny, our broadcasters keep it set around 1.2 to 1.4 seconds, which is from the old satellite days, and that's what they're used to. So, but you'll notice sometimes, especially when they go to when they're doing tosses to overseas correspondents, it's a little bit longer. They set a longer delay. And I think that just helps with the encoding and allowing that LRT that we use, that LiveU reliable transport, to give a bit of a better signal. But you don't want to be 20 seconds between the question and the answer. That looks real awkward.
Yes, I would agree. Here's one that I've never thought about. Jacob wants to know, can you transmit multiple cameras from planes or helicopters with the LiveU?
Jacob, yeah, cool picture too. I love that.
I was just like, what is the picture?
Yeah, it's a cool yeah. The answer is yes, actually, and you'll see on our website we have a couple of case studies that we've done, and we have some really cool videos on our YouTube website that show us doing helicopter shots with the LU 800, actually even the 600, and we use our extender even. I think one is the Cape Epic, if I'm not mistaken. Joyce will correct me if I am, but yeah, you can. And there are certain height limitations that you have to be aware of, because cell towers don't point up, they all point down, right? So there are height limitations that you have to be aware of, but with our unit and our extender, people get great signal and helos. All the major news networks use LiveU in their helicopters, or a lot of them use LiveU in their helicopters for news shots. And that's something that you can do for sure. But there are limitations on the height that you will need to adhere to. So, but yeah, if you look on our website and check out some of our case studies and videos on the YouTube site, you'll see some of those shots that are being done with helicopters and whatnot.
I think I've got time for one more for you, George. I don't want to take up too much of your time today, and then I'm going to do a surprise giveaway.
Whoop, whoop.
So that'll be exciting, and that's just going to be for people who are here and watching live, which makes it even more exciting. The chances are better for you.
All right.
But Jacob's wondering, when bonding is active, does the Wi-Fi and Ethernet have the same priority as the modems?
Another great question. Wow, these are amazing questions today. So the nice thing about LiveU is we have something called least cost bonding. I know it's a strange sounding name, but it's a real cool function. So Jacob, you can actually, on the unit itself in LiveU Central, you could actually go in and set the priority for the modems, Ethernet, and Wi-Fi. So you could actually tell the unit, use Ethernet first, Wi-Fi second, and the modems third, or set it in any order that you want. So that's great, especially when you're paying for a data plan, because if you're connected to Ethernet, you always want to use that first, right? Because it won't cost you anything. So that's a feature that we have. So you can set the priority and the bonding in any way that you want, the order of priority and importance. And that's called least cost bonding, and it's part of any of the units that we have.
A little, support question for myself, George, is when I'm done this call today, I'm going to jump back into my own testing. I have the little exterior modem pieces. Let me get them out. Do I need them with my 600, or are you not sure if I need them? Does it depend?
Oh, I might have to phone a friend, Kung T, my engineer here. Let's see if I
Okay.
can answer this.
Let's
Show
see.
me
Like,
what you got.
I got like these guys. This is a Netgear one.
Yep.
And we used these before on the Solo, and I'm like, okay, I see these here. Am I going to need them for NAB? I'm not going to be plugged into Ethernet at any time. We're going to be completely relying on the LiveU for the stream.
Yes. So, yeah, for the 600, you really won't need those. The 600 has 6 built-in modems. You could bring it as a additional plug-in one if you wanted to, but you're not going to need it really.
Okay.
The 600 will do fine. We've used those in the past at NAB on the show floor, and it works just fine. I would say that no, you wouldn't need to have that at the NAB. That's my opinion.
I'm really
I'll
making the
verify
most
with
of my
Kung,
time
though.
with you.
Yeah, no, I'll verify with Kung, my engineer, but I think
Okay.
you'll be fine with the LU600 as is with the modems built into the unit.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for joining us, George. Can you remind us one more time if people want to learn more about the LiveU products, look for pricing, get in contact? What do we do?
Absolutely. Go to www.liveu.tv. You can also contact me at george@liveu.tv anytime. And yeah, that's really it. Go to our website, check it out, look for your local reseller and the reseller tab there, and or just reach out to me. I'll be glad to help. And I really appreciate you having me today, Tess. It was a lot of fun.
This was a great show. We got so much interest from our audience on this. So I'm so happy to have you guys on, George. And, you know, we'll be making more content together in 2 weeks.
Yep. Can't wait to see you out there.
All right. I'll let you go then, George. Thank you so much for joining today. We'll chat soon.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Okay. Oh, that was awesome. Lindsay, you're learning about cellular bonding and how you can go live without internet and
So
stuff.
exciting.
What do you think about
I'm
that?
so intrigued because that's like sports wise, that's
Yeah.
what I'm very interested in. Like I want to go
Really?
back to maybe like my high school and try and live stream something.
Should we make Lindsay wear the backpack at NAB?
Oh my gosh, maybe.
This is the backpack that, well, no, actually, we're going to have a smaller backpack. It's slightly smaller. But based on what Stephen Haywood, our product evangelist, has told us, he used to wear a backpack that was like this big. And if any of you are like OG streamers in the chat, like, is it true that you had to wear this like giant, heavy backpack? I mean, I've seen pictures of his, and it was pretty insane. Can you? Oh, yes. Sorry, I already got to that question. But yeah, so this one is nothing compared to, I think, years past what would have been necessary for cameramen or women to wear. All right, Linz, think of a number between 1 and 500.
Oh, that's how we're doing it today?
That's how we're doing it today,
Okay.
girlfriend. And I got new tunes.
Ooh, new
Do you hear it, Michael?
Too.
The sound
Okay.
effects?
What am I
Oh, I
picking
forgot to
between?
put the external output on. Oh, you got it? Oh, okay. You got it. We got new tunes today. Stick around for a minute while we do our giveaway.
What's my
We're going to give a webcam away to somebody today. Joyce, thanks for hanging out in the chat, supporting us, and George. That was great. You did awesome.
What's my number range? Okay.
Oh, I'm so sorry. 1 through 500. You know how I get distracted. In the chat, let us know a number between 1 and 500.
Hold on, don't go yet.
And whoever is closest to the number is going to win a free webcam.
I am also ending our final round of March Madness in 30 seconds. So get voting, and we'll see what your favorite product is.
And if you want a webcam, you're going to email me after the show, my first name dot my last name at PTZOptics.com. Test.protesto@PTZOptics.com. Oh, got some stuff going on here. I'm going to take out my earpiece. Okay. George was a great guest. I know his video was a little fuzzy, and it's not his fault. I don't think we're still figuring out maybe some potential network issues or something on our end. So it wasn't his fault. So figure I'd say that publicly in case anyone was wondering. All right. So the camera's not on you, Lindsay, so you can show me the number
Alrighty.
so I can help you look. And we're monitoring Facebook or YouTube. That's so small. Okay. All right. We'll give it another minute or so. And I need to put my hair up. Where did I put my hairband?
33 votes.
No spinning today. We're spinning at the end of the month. We only spin at the end of the month. Where's my other songs? I don't hear any music.
Uh-oh. Am I going to have to sing?
What? But I don't hear. Oh, I have it muted.
Mike, if
I still
send
don't
this
hear
to
it,
you-
Michael. Oh, it's just kind of quiet. All right, we'll give you another minute. 1 through 500. Pick a number, any number, and you'll get one of our webcams, which has EPTZ, by the way, which makes it kind of a cool webcam.
Or is it just who gets it first?
Whoever gets it first. We're only giving away one. You'll get to meet George and Joyce in person in a few weeks, Linz.
Super excited.
Did anybody get the exact number?
I am sending over the March Madness to Mike now.
Oh yeah, we have our
Yeah, we
March
have our winner.
Madness finalization.
I don't know if you can pop that in there.
Put it in the chat and then we'll pop it up. You can do multiple votes because I still haven't seen the exact number, to be honest.
Yeah, I haven't
So
seen
if
it
you want
either.
to try another one,
It's a doozy.
did some numbers repeat? I imagine.
Yeah. Do people from other countries know what March Madness is?
That's a good question. We do have global viewers, Lindsay.
Yeah.
March Madness. I don't even know what it really is. I just know there's like a bunch of basketball games and people do like sports betting on it and they pick which team they think is going to win.
Yeah,
On
it's
a
for
bracket.
college.
College basketball.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if I was going to have to.
Okay.
explain March
Yeah.
Madness.
After 2 votes, if you voted more than 2 times, stop voting. Let's say 2 times, okay? Let's call
I've
it 2
only
times.
seen about.
All right. Let's
2
do
people
20 more
close.
seconds. I've seen some that are really close. I should not drink soda water while live.
You're
Michael's
slamming
sitting
that
over there
soda
angry
water.
at me. All right, guys, we have a winner.
We do?
Yep, somebody got the exact number.
Clint.
Clint Goins. The number was 3.
Boop, boop, boop.
Congratulations. Clint, you can email test.protesto@PTZOptics.com
Oh, I am
for
on caps
your
lock.
free stuff.
Protesto. Protesto.
Alrighty, guys. I think that's us. That's it.
That's
There
all.
we go. That's
That's all,
it.
folks.
That's it for us today. I believe next week we're going to have the OG host of PTZ Optics and HuddleCam HD on. Is that true?
Oh, no way.
Are we bringing back a very surprise, esteemed
Ooh.
guest? If we can book him. I know he's a busy guy.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry, Lindsay.
We almost
Give
just-
us some March Madness.
Alrighty, y'all. So the winner of March Madness is. So we had to battle it out between NDI and SDI. And the winner is PTZ 30X NDI.
Yay!
Woo!
So 30X NDI. That
Yeah.
is the top tier camera that we have. That
This
would
is
be number
true.
1.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That makes sense, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, most capable optical zoom, highest optical zoom, and SDI, which also has, or NDI, which also has SDI capability. It has
Mhm.
everything the SDI camera does, but it
Yeah.
also has NDI. So that makes a lot of sense. And is this the 30X? Yes.
Mhm.
This is the 30X right here. 30X
Our
NDI.
winners in the studio
Our
today.
winners in the studio. Congratulations, my friend. Well done. You keep up the good work.
Yeah, so proud of you.
Keep it up. We have
Right.
lost our minds. Not surprised.
Not surprised.
All right, guys. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll see you next Wednesday for a very, very special show with our surprise guest that you'll just have to register at ptzoptics.com/show if you want to figure out who it is before next week. Let's get that in the chat.
I think I did.
And that's it for us today, folks. We'll see you next time. Thank you so much.